Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO.
3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast where we talk about all things 3DO, the company, the console, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, Bill, I'm doing great. I think we got off easy for Bad Game Month. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yes, we did. I was like, when I saw it was a tie between that and Superman 64, I'm like, you guys are just like taking the easy route here. I'm like, okay.
Well, I think we all were like, we're not doing Superman 64. We're not going to do it.
Well, no one's going to get past the first stage.
I don't want to go anymore.
I just use the level select code and be like, I did it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like I played a teeny bit of Earthworm Jim 3D or whatever the fuck. And yeah, aside from the camera sucking, it's fine. It's whatever. Like, I'd rather be playing Mr. Bones, but whatever.
See, the thing that with Earthworm Jim 3D is like control-wise, it's fine for the most part. It's an average.
It's not great though. Like, I hate that the little spinny thing doesn't last super long.
No, it's about as average as a 3D platformer from that era gets. The camera is just abysmally bad.
Oh yeah, the camera is ass, but that's just par for the course.
Well, yeah, because supposedly Nintendo had a patent for the C buttons on how you could use them for cameras, and no other company could use it.
I find that I almost want to throw a flag on the play because like you're using the C buttons for the control for the camera.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's true or not because like I cannot find that article anymore, but like.
The only one I know that's true is at that time, Bamco, your favorite company, patented the like mini game during a load screen because they had that for like Namco Museum.
Well, and Sega also famously had the stupid arrow from Crazy Taxi. That was another.
To be fair, they had a case with Road Rage.
They did. I just find it amusing. I just find it super amusing that like because of that lawsuit, basically it resulted in all these other game companies just creating better systems than that stupid arrow.
I mean, good for them. I mean, and think about it. Without that lawsuit, we may not have gotten Hit and Run.
Yeah, it's funny
because they were just going to do another Road Rage, but Radical convinced them to give them like an extra year to make the game. And then that resulted in them doing their GTA Lite with a hit and run. And so there you go. So Sega wins again.
Yeah. That is still one of the most
That's who I ride and die for, okay?
Yeah.
Goddamn.
That is still one of the most blatant ripoffs ever, though.
Oh, yeah. Like, Arrow regardless. Like, it's like you look at that game for 2 seconds. You're like, yeah, that's just fucking Crazy Taxi. Like, what are we doing here? Like, just go play that. Yeah. But yeah, Earthworm Jim is Earthworm Jim. I don't know. I don't even really like Earthworm Jim in general. Because I don't know if you guys remember a long time ago when I was trying to stream, I did play Earthworm Jim. And I was like, this game's not good. Like, I don't think this game's very good. I think it controls like shit. And it was just that era of like, what's a platform? What isn't a platform? And having like, not great enemy placement, and a game that was trying to ride on vibes alone.
Pretty much.
It's got the vibes in space. The soundtrack is amazing. Whether or not Tommy Tallarico did it is another debate. Like, there are things we know Tommy actually did, but that H Bomber Guy video was so good, it put his entire career into question.
Yeah.
Like, what did he actually do?
Did he actually do that one song from Sonic and the Black Knight? We'll never know.
I've heard it. It sounds like something he'd do.
True. But
anyways, other than that, I don't know. I'm just waiting on Horizon 6.
Yeah, I'm still plugging away through our project game we're working on for 3D owned. But have we mentioned it on the show? I don't even remember at this point.
I haven't touched it in a while.
Yeah, it's been a.
But that's just we're planning and everything. But I'll get through it. I'll get through it.
Yeah, and then Pocopia, but even that I have like no time to ever play. So.
Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. No time for that. So yeah, let's get not a huge amount of news. That's why we're rambling a little bit. But a couple of interesting things. First thing, to clarify the whole PlayStation thing from last week about the 30-day timer thing. An official spokesman from Sony came out and said it basically is just a one-time check. So basically it's that 30-day timer that if you buy a new game, right, you just need to do a one-time check within 30 days to validate the purchase. And then you're okay. I think that's what it is. But my question is but why? Why do we need this anyway? Nobody else does this. It's just kind of weird. Sure, it's not as bad as we thought it was. And good, but again, it's still that's just kind of weird.
It's just another case of me being
whatever
media, man. Physical media.
I feel is it just digital games?
I hope so. That would be really shitty.
Because in this they didn't necessarily specify physical or digital. At least from what I saw, but
leads to physical. That's going to be a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just physical or just digital, because physical, you put the disc in and then the console performs some security checks on the disc to be sure it passes. So it probably doesn't need it.
Yeah, I just that would be really bad if it counted for physical too, because the amount of people that buy a game, put it on the shelf, and don't get to it for God knows how long.
Don't remind me, okay? How long ago did I buy that copy of Scarlet Nexus? Never mind. Anyway, So there's that. Okay, I figure I just clear the air for anybody who's interested. Okay, next up is, I guess Lego in their history of doing Legofied classic consoles, they're now doing one for the Sega Genesis / the Mega Drive, coming out this summer. They already have, I think, the controller. I think the controller's been out for a while. Yeah. But they're doing one for the console.
Is it Model 1 Genesis?
It is a Model 1.
Okay, that's all that matters.
And it's only $40. Not the worst price. Not the worst price. I think those Nintendo ones were a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I have the NES, and from what I was told, it was very expensive. So
yeah, so this one, I mean, it's got a little Sonic 2 cart in it. It's well, that's cute, I don't know. But
okay. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Technical difficulties. Technically, I'm difficult. So yeah, it's got a little Sonic 2 card in it. That's cool. It's something that I don't know if a relative wants to buy it for me for my birthday or something. Cool, but that's kind of about it,
Yeah, that $40 price tag is. I hear that and I go, I don't need to hear that.
Yeah. Call me when they do the Sega Saturn or Sega Game Gear, then I'll buy that.
Or the Dreamcast, day one.
Yeah, I'd buy that. I would. Let's see. We had mentioned this. Our buddy Steve brought this up in the Discord, and I think we made fun of it. So let's make fun of it on air. The Rugrats Retro Rewind Collection. From Limited Run Games, coming out. The digital release is May 15th on PS5 and Switch. No PC at all. I don't know. But
do we need to play these on PC?
I mean, you can if you want. All right. Yeah. But the collection is, if anyone's curious, Rugrats Search of Reptar, which is a PS1 game. The Rugrats movie for Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Bad.
Rugrats Time Travelers for Game Boy
really
Color.
Bad.
Rugrats Studio Tour for PS1.
Bad.
Rugrats in Paris, the movie for PS1 and Game Boy Color.
I remember playing golf.
And then Rugrats Castle Capers on Game Boy Advance. Now, I don't think I've played any of these. Maybe the GBA one. Maybe.
I had that damn Time Travelers one on Game Boy Color as a child. I could not beat the first level. Still have never beaten the first level to this day. Maybe I still own it. Maybe I should give it another try. I remember it being bad. The original Search for Reptar is pretty bad. It's nostalgic but bad.
There's only really one Rugrats game I would actually want to go back to and play, and that's was it Royal Ransom or whatever? The one that's on GameCube.
Yeah, that one. That one actually is probably okay. I remember
Royal Ransom is the one I'm thinking. Yeah, who made
it was
that?
Avalanche, I believe.
Oh, which Avalanche?
The Attack of the Power Juju.
The Hogwarts Legacy one.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that one's probably all right.
I had the Rugrats in Paris game for PlayStation back in the day. I remember playing the mini games more than the actual game, because I'm pretty sure the game is one of those like platformers where you don't really platform. You just kind of walk around a hub world and you play mini games.
That sounds about right.
I played a lot of the mini golf as a
kid. And apparently this was like the last Rugrats game for like a really long time.
I mean, that makes sense because the series was pretty much done.
By 2002, I think we were all grown up, so we didn't really need it anymore. Yeah. So yeah, call me if they port Royal Ransom, then I'll go, oh, maybe. But nah, whatever. So well, at the time of recording, yesterday was Star Wars Day. So happy Star Wars Day. I did buy the episode 3 game. And I played. Well, I played the first level, and I'm like, well, I hadn't played this game in like a long time, but I was like, this game's good actually. Like, it's good.
It's so good that Obi-Wan can solo everything for you, and you could just kind of fuck off the entire stage.
Who doesn't love that? But I get the sense that it's trying to cop from the Lord of the Rings games.
Oh yeah,
because it has like that same hack and slash. It has like the combo meter, all that. It's like that's what it's trying to be. And honestly, I as a kid I liked it, and as an adult I'm like, you know what, I can get behind this.
It's like the most, like, I think out of all the Star Wars games, it's like the one that people consider the most fine. Like, it's fine.
Sure, yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's made by the people who made that Buffy Xbox game.
Sure is.
There you go. But with all that, we got a Star Wars game coming this year, Galactic Racer. And the release date has been confirmed. It is coming out October 6th. It coincided with a new trailer, and it looks pretty fucking cool, dude. I think it looks pretty neat. And if anyone's curious, the MSRP for the standard edition is only $60. It's probably a wait till it's like 30. Like, I'm not gonna day one buy it, but it does look pretty neat. So that a very much a wait on sale kind of game. But also they're like, oh, here's the giant expensive edition if you want to own like a physical version of the land speeder in the game or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sure some fucking Star Wars nuts pre-ordered 13 of them. So he'll be fine.
It's actually kind of funny. I wasn't sure how many Star Wars games I actually own. And I just like looked it up on GameEye. I own quite a few of these things now that I realize.
I mean, it's easy to, because
most of them are cheap as fuck.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Star Wars is one of those IPs that just perfectly lends itself to video games. All different kinds, and it's like history with games is pretty solid for the most part.
I'm really
there are terrible Star Wars games, and then there are Star Wars games that are like beloved and considered some like in very important video games, right? So you have a whole range of things to pick from.
I'm really disappointed in myself. I own the Phantom Menace game on PlayStation 1, but I don't own Battles of Terras, whatever the fuck.
Terras Kazi?
All I know is it's an awful fighting game.
It's a pretty bad fighting game, yes.
How do I not own that? But I own the fucking Phantom Menace game on PS1. That's like...
Do you own the Star Wars Obi-Wan game for Xbox?
I don't. I don't own a single
I
Xbox
do.
Star Wars game. I have Clone Wars on PS2.
That one. Well, that one was exclusive. Ooh.
Oh no, I do. I have the Knights of the Old Republic games.
Oh yeah, KOTOR, of course. Everybody owns KOTOR. I have them both digitally. I tried playing KOTOR many years ago on my PC, and I tried to get into it, and I was like not sure, so I was like, I don't know about this, but one of these days I'll give it another try.
It's now that I've played a lot more Western RPGs, I think I could probably do better with it.
Yeah. So I got 1 and 2. So, but Galactic Racer October. I'll keep an eye on it. It looks neat. It's cool to see that. I think we are starting to get more racing games. Like in the last couple years, it feels like they've been picking up a little bit. Because you remember, well, you collect every racing game for PS1. There was a shit ton of these things.
See, we haven't reached the days of games like Hooters Road Trip or...
No. I don't think we'll ever reach those days again.
My favorite still is ATV Racer. Because like it was the most unassuming cover. Because like I picked it up, I'm like, ATV Racer, is that like ATV racing racing game? You pull it out and it's like furry racing. I'm like, oh, well, I need to own this.
Yes, you do.
I don't think I've played it yet, to be honest. But I do. I do own it. So
maybe we'll play it for 3D. All right. Sure. So to cap off our news, it's the big one. I'm sure many of you have already heard about this, but we're going to talk about it here. This is coming straight from the source. GameStop proposes to acquire eBay at $125 a share. So GameStop Corp today, May 3rd, submitted a non-binding proposal to acquire 100% of eBay at $125 a share in cash and stock. The offer represents a 46% premium on eBay's unaffected closing price on February 4th, 2026, the day GameStop started accumulating its position in eBay. GameStop has built a 5% economic stake in eBay through derivatives and beneficial ownership of common stock. GameStop is filing a Schedule 13D and HSR notification tomorrow, which has already happened. The full proposal letter and accompanying materials are available here, blah, 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 blah. So basically, long story short, GameStop wants to acquire eBay. Now, this comes off of when their new CEO, Ryan Cohen, no relation, became the CEO of GameStop. He was given an incentive of like, oh, hey, there's this big old bonus for you, but you'll get it if, you can get our stock back up to, I think it was over $100 a share or something like that. Because right now it's trading in like the 25 or something. Like it's not a super high number because
if you guys are still recovering from getting massacred by that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you remember the stonks, the game stonks, they sold a bunch of shares at that time because they were kind of like selling at a premium and everything like that. And for those who don't know, if you have to make more shares of your public company to sell, the value of those shares goes down. But economics 101, right? But I don't think Ryan Cohen knows that because GameStop is worth about like 1 billion, 2 billion roughly. And then, but eBay is worth like closer to like 10 billion. So it's like, dude, what did you watch the interview?
I've seen parts of it and all I know, I'm like, what is this guy doing?
That was so basic. So I highly recommend everybody go watch the CNBC interview where Ryan Cohen looked like he dragged himself out of bed, threw on his tough boy leather jacket. Where the hell did that hairline come from? And basically is just like staring into the abyss of his webcam with all of the stuff that he stole fuzzed out behind him, where they're like, oh, hey, like, how are you going to do this deal? They're asking like basic questions. And he's like, it's going to be half cash and half stock. And they're like, well, we know that like you don't have that much cash in the bank and we know what your stock's trading for. Like that doesn't add up. Like, how are you going to do that? And he's like, we're going to do it in half cash and half stock. All the details are on the website. And everyone's like, why'd you do this fucking interview if we weren't going to say anything? Like,
CEOs
what
need
the
to
hell's
stop like appearing in public because my God.
like like people are like, what is he like? What the fuck was the whole point? It was probably just to drive like news to it. But I think after that interview, the stock went down.
Well,
So good
GameStop is a
job.
sinking. GameStop's a sinking ship as it is at this point.
Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think here's what I think they're trying to do. They want to they're positioning themselves as competing with Amazon, right? Which makes sense because I imagine a lot of people buy video games from Amazon, digital or physical, right? And so they see that there and go, that's probably a competitor, and the closest competitor Amazon really has in any sort of digital marketplace is eBay, right? But eBay doesn't necessarily position itself as a competitor.
No,
eBay
because they're
is
not the
kind of
same.
yeah, they're a whole like different thing, right? But I mean, but in a way, I could see the potential value of like a brick and mortar GameStop store where you can go in and say you want to sell something on eBay, but you don't want to go through all of the hassle of doing it yourself because that's what you have to do, right? So you could go into the store and be like, hey, I want to sell this, and then they kind of work with you to kind of like do it for you or whatever, and you can get cash or credit or whatever, right? Like I could see a potential value in that, sure. Yeah, and I could see like if eBay had the ambitions of wanting to get up there, like sure, I guess. But also a lot of people have come to this conclusion that it really is GameStop going all in on like the Pokemon trading cards.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because I mean, think about it. The trading cards, where does the value for those cards, where does that value get set? eBay. Like everywhere you go, if you're trying to buy these, bullshit ass scam trading cards, they're a fucking scam, I promise. Like if you go to any of these stores, they're going to pull up sold listings on eBay and give you a price, right? So I think that's them kind of wanting to set that market because GameStop is getting into buying and selling and trading Pokemon cards now. Like it's starting to be a thing. And I think they also kind of want to potentially manipulate the market to kind of help them out as well, potentially. But I feel like he's almost presenting that as like an infinite money glitch, where he's like, oh, what if I can, acquire the company that is setting the value and then shoot the value through the roof and people will just buy it anyways because they're fucking stupid. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's going to work in the long run.
My thing here is I immediately think of when GameStop tried to get into the retro gaming market the first time and how much of a disaster that was.
I mean, they're still in that. It's
still a disaster, but like,
yeah, though apparently now it's not select stores, it's every store now.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and I've spotted multiple times. I've been like, you realize you're selling bootlegs, right? And they're like, get out of our store. I'm like, bye.
I mean, yeah, there's no quality control as well. No. Yeah, but like he's trying to imply that like eBay is not a well-run company. I don't know all the details about that. But
GameStop is.
I mean, yeah, but because why eBay works so well is because they're incredibly hands off.
Yeah,
they just let the people who are buying and selling do all the handiwork.
They only step in when they have to.
Yeah, basically eBay's job is to host everything. They get a little fee for that, and then yeah, like have like buyer and seller protections. That's really what they do at the end of the day. So, and I mean, it seems to work just fine for them. Like I've made money on eBay.
Oh yeah. I also don't think I think they're underestimating the sheer amount of shit that's on sale on eBay. Like,
yeah. Like if you remember a while ago when they did that, like, we'll buy anything. Do you remember that? Where you come in with whatever random bullshit and they buy it?
Yeah, that was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I feel like that was almost like them trying to incentivize something like this happening, and maybe they were wanting eBay to buy them out. But eBay's like, no, we're not going to do that.
eBay's like, we're doing fine. You are a sinking ship, sir.
Yeah. So basically, the whole premise is that if you look at everything and do the calculations, if this were to go into play, both companies together with the buyout, and because since they don't have all of the cash on hand, they'd have to finance the rest of the cash. So they would be putting themselves in a lot more debt. And when you merge with a company, you take on their debt. So people did the math, and it's like, oh, if GameStop were to acquire eBay and they became a separate company, together company, they would be $22 billion in debt. And how many times have we seen when these companies, like, think about all the companies that have like shut down recently over the last however many years, right? It's always like somebody else acquires them, and when they acquire them, they go into a deep fucking debt to acquire them, and then they get crippled and have to bankruptcy everything because they can't afford the interest on the debt anymore. Mm-hmm. It happens every fucking time. Or like these private, or these happened. Or like these private equity firms will come in, try to zap as much fucking profit out of the company, and then just sell it for peanuts because they don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Like we know the story, we know this game. Don't tell the people on r/Wall Street Bets. They think this is great, because I think they're still riding high and mighty over manipulating the stock market. I mean, good for them for exploiting the stock market as a bunch of bullshit, because it is, right? But this just isn't going to work. No, it isn't. Like financially, this isn't going to work. Even if, say, Ryan Cohen had like a genius plan to like make this work and have them, be successful in the long term, it's like, to spend, to make money, you got to spend money, but to spend money, you got to have money. And GameStop doesn't have the money.
No, and I just don't see any incentive for eBay in this.
No. I mean, and to be fair, it is a non-binding proposal. But Ryan Cohen has said that if the company flat out turns it down, he's going to then try to, I guess, attempt like a hostile takeover by like proposing this to the shareholders individually, and maybe like just trying to like buy their shares outright or whatever. And it's like, dude, like, yeah, he wants to acquire eBay for $125 a share, right? Here, if I look up eBay stock price at this moment in time, they are currently trading at $105.27 a share. Right? By contrast, GameStop's stock price is trading at $24.21 a share. And so like, yeah, so they would have to go in a huge amount of debt to make up the half cash, and then the other half in stock, they would like have to like, like issue more stock or, split up the stock or whatever, just dilute it even further, where it's like, yes, if you got enough people to buy the stock to get to that much, now the stock's going to be trading way lower than it was anyways. And it's like, and if your goal is to get it up to $100 a share again, like this isn't the way to do that. But honestly, you look at GameStop and you're like, how do you get to that point these days? I have no idea.
GameStop's entire business model has not worked for years now. I don't understand.
I mean, they remind me a lot of Blockbuster, which was like Blockbuster when they were like the biggest thing in town. They got very up their own ass and then just kind of waved off the tide of the new stuff coming in. And then it came in, and by the time they tried to respond or do anything about it, it was too late.
They had a chance to buy Netflix.
They did.
And they said that'll never go anywhere.
I mean, Netflix is also kind of in the toilet right now, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this, nah. This is really stupid. But y'all should go watch that interview because it's so cringy and embarrassing.
Is it as bad as the McDonald's CEO?
It's worse.
Okay, because that was pretty bad.
Because the awkward silences, if you hate awkward silences, this fucking kills. It murders. It's so bad. But it was so funny, though. Because I watched it at work while I was like taking a shit in the bathroom, which is like the appropriate place to watch a CNBC interview in general, right? So just kind of cap that off.
Fair.
But yeah, that was that. And oh god, like Cohen, don't kill eBay, please. I really like eBay. As
Yeah.
somebody who uses eBay a lot to build up his Game Gear collection, please stop. Leave
So
it
I
alone,
buy
okay?
a lot of my out of print comic trades. So
Exactly. eBay is a lovely place. Don't kill it.
there isn't even a GameStop near me anymore. Like the closest one's all closed. The closest one is like an hour away now.
The closest one to me is closer to my work than me, but that's only like a 15-minute drive.
Same, actually.
And I mean, I've thought about going in just to see, just take a gander, but
the closest one to me is pathetic. And like I kind of hate going to it. So and there's like a retro gaming store in the same mall, so I'd rather just go there.
yeah, I mean, all the retro stores I go to are way closer to me, and they're so much better. So, but yeah, that's the news, everybody.
So we did get Nintendo Music, kind of.
What did we get this time?
This is the greatest thing ever. So we didn't get a new game. We got a song. We got a single track.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
They gave us one new track from Super Mario Galaxy 2.
What the fuck's the song?
Apparently it's an exclusive to the Switch version. It's called Journey.
Are you actually kidding me?
Nope. That's what we get.
Peaches or whatever. I don't know.
It sounds like a fucking TikTok sound. It's just like
like a TikTok where they're like crying and on camera.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
granted, like Earthbound music is like a TikTok sound, so
like people younger than us, why are you crying on camera? Like that is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, stop.
fucking TikTok reel trends are like literally like cancer. Like some of that shit I see is the worst.
The lack of shame kind of pisses me off.
I'm glad that they're all starting to like arrest these fuckers like nowadays. Like fucking just
I mean,
stop.
I mean, as long as they're still speed running Scientology buildings, that's fine.
See, that's
I can get behind that.
That's fine. The only downside to that is they get to pretend they're the victim now, which is an unfortunate side effect.
It's annoying.
They're gonna use this to their example, but I do enjoy.
I don't want to be that guy who's like doing that cyclical thing where we're just shitting on the young kids for being young. You know?
No, well, see, I don't care about the ones that are just doing stupid shit. It's like that new trend with the fucking dipshit that was just invading businesses and like trying to take them over.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
The guy got arrested, so that's all that matters. But
okay, fair enough. Yeah, but hey, they'll learn.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, let's talk about our game. Oh, commenters who hate how long we get to the game.
No, they secretly love it. They just like the bitch.
The cynic is coming out.
Or it's literally the one person who's just looking for a review of like one of these games, because I'll tell you, there's not a lot of content on some of the games we've covered, and they're mad that we're not.
That's that's probably a good chunk of it. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Well, I know this for a fact because I also like to look up stuff before we cover these games as well, and I'm like, it's not a whole lot to go on sometimes.
Yeah, especially for this one because. Man, I could have used a little bit of help.
Yeah. So for this episode, we are talking about Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Slayer.
Did I do a good job?
Rain and Blood.
Well, I was referencing like Halo. My Slayer reference is right there, audio listeners. Take a guess what my favorite Slayer album is, audio listeners. Let me know. Because obviously you're not viewing the video where you could get the answer pretty easily.
Yeah. So something RuneScape 99 Slayer. I don't know. Anyways.
That's funny.
So this game was interesting, but also weird. Like
not I wouldn't necessarily call it weird though.
Well, it was like, it's weird in the sense that like, I'm like, this is weirdly compelling, but at the same time I was bored. Like,
You know, I had a similar feeling because okay, yeah, so this is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Slayer, a fantasy first-person dungeon crawling ARPG based on the second edition of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which came out who the fuck knows when and who the fuck cares. Developed by Lion Entertainment and published by Strategic Simulations in 1994 for the 3DO. This is an exclusive for the 3DO. You can't play this anywhere else. No PC, no PlayStation 6, no Nintendo Super. Like here is the only place you can play it.
Yeah. Looking at a little bit into like what else Lion Entertainment has done, they are mostly a porting studio. And the games they're credited on, they didn't even do the majority of the work. They just kind of assisted. Like apparently they helped port Wing Commander 3 to PlayStation, DOS, Windows, Wing Commander 4, Quake, Duke Nukem 3D, Atomic Edition, Heroes of Might and Magic, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm thinking like looking at other games here, like they did another game called that's the sequel to this. Never mind. We'll get to that later. Yeah, a lot of most of their stuff is pretty much they didn't actually make it; they just ported. So they're mostly a porting studio that made some Dungeons and Dragons games.
Yeah, and that's like I don't really know the state of D&D in the 90s because like I don't know, nor do I really care. Well,
apparently,
Bill, what's your experience with playing Dungeons and Dragons, like the paper RPG tabletop?
Absolutely nothing. I never got it.
You've never played it, like even like once.
So I was never when it comes to gaming, I was never really a tabletop guy. Like I never really got into board games that much. Card games, I had a Yu-Gi-Oh phase. That was about it. Never was really nut. I was mostly a video game guy. So like I always say, like the closest thing I got to D&D was probably RuneScape, like stuff like that, and that was really about it.
Interesting, because D&D, I had some friends who were really into it.
See, that's the other thing. I didn't have friends that were into it. So
yeah, because usually with D&D you have to have other people willing to play it with you. So
see, I had
friends who were willing to play it. Like they had the big editions, and then they would make games, and then we would do our stuff, and so I've experienced playing the tabletop version of it, and it is fun. It's pretty cool.
That's what I've heard.
But it requires a lot of dedication and consistency.
Yeah, that
I think some people are just not prepared for.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, we got to do this like every week, and we got to keep up with everything and all that stuff. It's like, oh shit, Yeah,
see, the problem I had growing up was the people I hung out with. I don't even really call them friends because they really weren't. But they were the people that were so obsessed with their popularity that they would pretend to hate. They basically be the people that liked things, but then would make fun of people for liking those things because they wanted to be cool.
Hipsters.
Yeah. Well, they were like my friends who played RuneScape, but they were so like up their ass about their image that they were like, you can't talk about RuneScape in school, and I would go out of my way to be as obnoxious about RuneScape as possible just because I did not give a fuck. I'm like, first of all, everybody here plays RuneScape. We're not gonna fucking like lie to ourselves. They can pretend they don't.
I don't.
Well, no, I'm talking about the area I grew up around. Because I knew for a fact everyone in the school fucking played RuneScape, but they would just pretend they didn't. Like it was just one of those things. Because like I found out years later
that would make them more popular.
Well, no, because no one wanted to actually acknowledge it. Like it was.
Oh, it was that era where like being a video game fan was seen as like a weird taboo.
Yeah, if
thing.
you didn't play Call of Duty or Madden, you were considered weird.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
It's like how everyone around that era was also an anime fan, but would not admit it. Like it was one of those things. Like I was just one of those trendsetters who fucking didn't give a fuck. So
I don't know if I'd call you a trendsetter, Bill.
It's fine. I don't associate with anybody from that era aside from the people I went to that went with me to like the Vogue school. So
yeah. So, but I've messed around with D&D. And again, it's cool. It's neat,
I see the people who play it. I'm like, they are having way more fun than I will ever have in my life, and I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Like it helps when the people around you are really fucking into it. Like it kind of carries you along. But of course, there's been tons and tons and tons and tons of D&D video games and related video games. I mean, you could do a whole podcast just chronicling every single Dungeons and Dragons video game that's ever been made. I mean, hell, like a whole subset could be just about like Baldur's Gate alone.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Baldur's Gate is a D&D, was based on being a D&D game.
And hell, if you want to get into full-on tabletop
but it very much like took its own life.
Oh yeah.
You could say the same about like, Baldur's Gate taking place in like the Forgotten Realms, using second edition rules. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, even like Elder Scrolls has some D&D influence.
Oh, Elder Scrolls is very influenced by D&D. I mean, you could make the argument that just about every fantasy RPG that's ever been made ever has an influence from D&D, like Ultima, Wizardry, hell, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy take influence from D&D. Like it's so ingrained in the way we think about and perceive fantasy in like an adventure and like a role-playing game. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, because D&D first started in the 70s, like it was 74, 75, when like the craze really hit. And you would like if we were around in the 70s, we would be D&D nerds.
Probably.
Like 1000%. Like that would be our thing. Right. And we would try to play like Atari games and be like, game's not going to get any better than this.
See, I think like the modern equivalent to D&D, well, D&D is still around, but like the modern thing would probably be like Warhammer or something like that.
Yeah, but Warhammer's been around since like the 80s.
That's true. Yeah.
Warhammer's its own thing. I have friends who really are into Warhammer. I've done the Warhammer thing where I bought a set, I assembled the figurines, and I have played the game. I've used the rulers, damn it. Because Warhammer is very like, what if we took D&D and made it more absurd in like everything?
It made it like, way more expensive. And
way more absurd in the price, the assembly, the characters, the lore, and the fucking game, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite Spoonie quotes ever, which I didn't know was like a Warhammer reference, was when he was reviewing one of those VHS board golf games, right? And one of them came with a ruler. He's like, there's only one game that should come with a ruler, and it better have tanks and orcs wearing fucking jetpacks, okay? That's a Warhammer reference.
Yeah.
Because Warhammer literally wants you to use a fucking ruler and measure your distance from everybody, because then that calculates into the effectiveness of your ranged attacks. We're not getting there. We're not going there.
Yeah, Warhammer is literally like, to me, like when do we get to the game? This is the game.
Yeah. I mean, but Warhammer is cool. And the way
I'm sure it is.
And the way you can experience Warhammers in all different kinds of ways. Like there are people who just buy the figurines, assemble them, paint them, and then that's all they ever do. And that's okay. And then there are people who will like buy pre-made ones just to play the game. And that's okay. I tried to get my friends to get into Blood Bowl, which is Warhammer's version of football, but they wouldn't bite. So,
it's a big. The problem with Warhammer is it's a big commitment. At least D&D, you can literally just have a piece of paper and you can fucking handle it.
I had a friend of mine. We were doing the D&D. They had us like build Lego figurines of our characters, like representations, and then they had like a big grid board, and then we kind of moved around and everything and all that, and it was really cool. Like the visual representation, like the effort some people can go to with D&D
pieces.
Yeah, but that's what makes D&D work, is that it's kind of up to your imagination, right? You can do whatever with it, basically. Like you can follow the guides specifically, you can have them as loose scenarios and kind of craft your own, or you could go fucking nuts with it, right? Like in one D&D game, I remember I found like the Futurama like head canister thing of Abe Lincoln. And I never got a resolution to that arc, but whatever, right? So yeah, long story short, D&D, it's been around forever. It's hugely influential. It's a staple of nerd culture, and just like it's kind of a staple of culture in general.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, nerd culture is just culture these days.
Yeah, but even outside of nerd culture, D&D is just such a big influence on like movies and all kinds of like when most people think of fantasy, they probably think of a weird hybrid of like Lord of the Rings and D&D. Like a weird mixture of the two in their brain. So, but anyways, there's been like tons of D&D inspired games and also D&D games themselves, and this is certainly one of them. This game released in
94.
September 1994. I was alive.
I was not, but I was. Well, no, I was in the oven. That's the best way we can put that.
Yes. So this game, it's basically it's a dungeon crawler. So there's a little intro, right, where there's some dude walking to a castle. There's no dialogue. There's a little bit of music and some sound effects, but it's very kind of like trying to build suspense. And it is atmospheric and all that, but you would almost expect some like cheesy, like, entering the dark castle, the Slayer needs to assassinate the demon of Faramore or something like that, right? Some bullshit. But there's none of that.
It's almost like serious. Like it's actually like kind of trying to take itself serious.
Well, D&D does take itself seriously.
Yeah.
But like it's not like over the top, but it just kind of treats it all as just kind of like fact and plain Jane, right? It's not trying to
I was expecting
it's not painting itself as being more important than it is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was expecting some like mercenary like goofiness, and I was like, oh no, this one's pretty played straight.
Yeah, but D&D never goes for that kind of ironic goofiness thing that we're also accustomed to these days. But anyways, so you do that, and then the game starts, and then you can either create a character or choose a character. So, creating a character, it's very similar to what you would do in D&D, which is...
I did like that. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, for those who've played D&D, or for those who haven't played D&D, basically you choose your race, your job, basically, like if you're going to be a
class,
yeah. So you can be like a half elf ranger, like a halfling cleric, or whatever, right? And then your alignment. That's where all the alignment stuff comes from. Your true neutrals, your chaotic neutrals, your lawful goods, all that stuff, right? So you can make a character, or you can just choose a predetermined one. And you roll for your stats, for your strength and your intelligence and everything. And of course, like certain species and all that have certain buffs and debuffs compared to other ones, right? But the thing is, a lot of the stuff, I feel like this is a manual game, which kind of makes sense because D&D itself needs the book, right? So
for some reason, I feel like the manual for this game was like thick.
Well, I found a PDF of it online. It's only about, it says it's 32, but it's like, both pages. So it's probably like 60 plus pages. And it's fairly detailed. Like it gives you all of the stuff you would need to know about like selecting your character, how to play, what everything means, all that stuff. Because I don't want to say the game doesn't tell you anything, but the game leaves a lot of the explanation to the book, which was a common thing back in the day, right? Especially with RPGs, just because there's so much stuff to go through. I mean, there's a whole bestiary, and there's a whole bestiary in the back half of the book and everything. Like, reading through that PDF or reading through this manual, it's like, oh, okay. Like seeing more of this stuff, it makes some sense, right?
Yeah, I can best describe my first run, because this game's fun too, because it's also randomly generated. Yes. But basically, I started the game. I entered in the first person. It's very Wolfenstein-esque 3D. Entered the space. Mushroom Man came around the corner, and I died. And then I immediately lowered the difficulty because I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be one of these games, isn't it?"
Do you remember what character you chose, or did you make one?
I made one. It was a whatever the warrior was.
Okay.
And I was chaotic neutral because, of course,
and the meme one, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mushroom Man killed me, and I went, okay, let's lower the difficulty a little.
Oh, I immediately put this thing to easy because like every 3DO game, I'm just like, just give me the easy because I know it's going to be some stupid bullshit because that's just what games did back then. So I'll deal with it. And yeah, first time I didn't get very far because I was trying to get used to the controls and how the whole game operated. But then the second time I got to like 6 or 7 floors.
I got to say, it runs pretty good.
It runs very well. The controls, I feel like your movement is too slippery.
Yeah.
For
3DO standards, that's pretty
you just
normal.
tap it and you just kind of slide everywhere. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, it's better playing than a lot of the games we've played on here, so I'll let it go.
Out of all the first person ones, this one controlled very smooth. It was slippery, but like it wasn't like
it's not jank. It's not as good as like Monster Manor or Wolfenstein.
Or even a mercenary.
But I think it holds up pretty well. And it's funny you mentioned Elder Scrolls earlier. Like that was my immediate comparison to this. If you've played Arena or Daggerfall, right? Yes. Like I feel a really big influence, but I don't think Daggerfall was out. I think Daggerfall was 96.
I think so. That would make
sense. And Arena was like 95, maybe.
Let me see.
So I've never played Elder Scrolls 1. I tried playing some of Elder Scrolls 2, and I have a lot of respect for Daggerfall, but I feel like it's past my time. You know?
So Arena came out in 94, so same year as this.
Okay. And March of 94. Okay. And I mean, if you look at the UI of Arena and compare it to the UI of Slayer, you can see some comparisons there.
Daggerfall was 96.
Okay, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys played Arena, like this new Elder Scrolls thing, and went, oh, this is kind of neat. Let's see if we can convert that to console, because if I remember correctly, Elder Scrolls 1 and 2 were PC only. They never came over.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And I feel like neither of those games would have worked on a console, even though I think Daggerfall on PS1 would have been a big hit. But I feel like,
but kind of like Diablo.
But I feel like that game would have been hindered by the limitations of the console, because Daggerfall is such a huge game. Like it's the biggest of the Elder Scrolls by a lot. Like literally Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim's map all live in Daggerfall and more. Like it's that big.
And it's also a lot easier to do stuff like that with that style of graphics.
Yeah. So, but I imagine if this was on PS1, it would just be riddled with load times and all kinds of stuff.
Be like 7 discs just because.
Oh, probably. Yeah, way too big. But yeah, like it very much reminds me of like those first person dungeon crawling ARPGs of the time, you know, where like maybe even a little bit of like Kingsfield. I've never really played Kingsfield, so I'm just guessing.
It's weird because it's a dungeon crawler, but you control it like a first-person shooter, which is
which honestly I like that, because like comparing it to say like Shining in the Darkness, like you guys know I love the Shining series. I do not like Shining in the Darkness.
Persona 1, like
boom, boom, boom.
It was. I love that game.
You know.
Mark Dan's crazy.
Yeah. School Days, still my favorite Persona tune. But no, I like that it controls like a as you said, like a first person shooter. It has a more reliable kind of control scheme for me. You know, and even for 3DO, because 3DO had a surprising amount of first person shooters on it. So
it did.
In a way, moving to this is like a smoother transition compared to some other stuff. Like if it was, say, Shining in the Darkness, like as I said, I don't really like that game because it's just it's very like antiquated, and it's just not a style I can really get into.
Holy Ark was a lot better.
Holy Ark, takes that idea and makes it so much fucking better. Just play Holy Ark. You can skip In the Darkness, but once I started playing it more and was like getting into it and being like, oh, okay, I understand. Like at the end of the day, it's just like it's like a first person shooter, but like you just have like the melee. I mean, you can use arrows. I don't recommend it. I tried using a ranger. it's nice you can pick up your arrows. I mean, you can do that in D&D as well. Like in a battle, when you use your arrows at the very end of the battle, you can say, "Oh, I picked up all my arrows." And a lot of the times, the master will have you roll, and then they'll be like, "Okay, you pick up like 75% of them or something like that," right?
Yeah.
Like that's nice, but like there's no way to aim properly, and with the control being so slippery, it's really tough to get a good aim on enemies from a distance. So really, you're better off just being a fighter, just getting a sword and just stabbing everybody to death, and it works perfectly.
Poke the mushroom with the stick, basically.
Yeah. And later you fight like ghosts and like giant like praying mantises and like slime oozing off the ceiling. Like it has a decent amount of enemy variety, and at least every dungeon tries to be a little different.
It's
like,
creative
outside of the random generation of it. They all have their own little look to them, you know? So it's like, oh, this level is different from the last level, right? But yeah, this game really needs some direction. Like some, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like that was like, I kind of got bored after a while because I just was like, but like, what's the point of all of this?
It is one of those games that's like you play it. It's one of those games that I feel like you'd have to have like an imagination while you play. It's almost like D&D kind of in a way.
Yeah, where it's almost like you need like a DM to like set up the premise of everything that's going on and what you need to do to get into it, right? But basically it's just like, oh, you have to, ascend this castle or whatever, or descend it or whatever, to defeat all the enemies and defeat the bosses, and then there you go, you've done it, buddy. Like it feels like the story or any sort of lore that this game could have had is very much on the back burner. Like even looking at the manual, there isn't a lot as far as like a story or any kind of attempt at like character building or anything. Like even just pulling some lore from like the second edition of D&D and just throwing that in there to be like, oh yeah, you're this whatever kind of stuff. Something that some D&D players would, have some relation to, be like, oh yeah, that like a video game version of like this scenario or something like that. Like that'd be kind of neat, but they don't really do that.
One other thing I find really interesting too is, if you look at the not the developer but the publisher for this game, Strategic Simulations, they did a lot of games of this style.
Yeah,
just looking through their gameography, I think are they still around?
They merged with Mindscape, and Mindscape doesn't exist anymore.
Nope. Well, that's unfortunate. They had a good run. They had a good run.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking through.
They were around in starting in the 80s, right?
Oh
yeah, and they did a handful of other D&D games, like some NES D&D games that some of you people might be familiar with.
A couple Buck Rogers games.
Yeah, looking at their gameography, it's like, oh, it's pretty. Yeah, as you said, it is deep. There's a lot of stuff they did.
I'm trying to find something that feels obscure. President-elect. What the fuck is this? Political simulation. Good God, get that away from me.
Ooh, that sounds interesting to me.
That's all you, man.
Well, funnily enough, they did do a few Warhammer games.
They did,
but a lot of people do Warhammer games, and most of them are just, I'm good.
Red Lightning.
And unless it's Space Marine, I'm good. Space Marine is a banger. And actually, I think they're making a Warhammer kart racer. And I'm
sure.
I'm on board. I am on fucking board.
Oh,
I think a Vermintide, the Warhammer Vermintide, it's just Left 4 Dead, but Warhammer, and I've heard it's fucking awesome.
Nice.
And they do make bull games, but we don't need to talk about those.
They did a game called Silent Hunter, and it's just a submarine warfare game. That's fun. Oh, man.
You just play that Iron Lung.
Yeah, that's
yeah. But
they did a Tony La Russa Ultimate Baseball.
Good for them.
Good for them.
And yeah, and they did a bunch of other D&D games, like they did the Eye of the Beholder series, which was kind of like long running D&D video game series. It's like a handful of them, you know. So they had made, you know, attempts in the past to do so. Oh yeah, there's that Eye of the Beholder for GBA. Yeah, that's a game.
Oh, they did a game called Veil of Darkness, and the cover is lovely. What the fuck is this?
Hold on.
Christ, it's like horror role playing. What?
Horror role playing.
Oh, apparently Ubisoft bought Strategic Simulations in 2004, according to this.
So they own all these games now?
They own I doubt it. Ubisoft, I don't know what Ubisoft owns anymore.
I don't even think they know what they own anymore.
That's a rabbit hole, anyways.
Going back to... So yeah, they've done a bunch of different stuff. And yeah, like they have experience making D&D games already. So, you know, this feels probably like a culmination of things that they were trying to do.
Oh, that is a sad line on their on the Wikipedia page. It says Lion Entertainment went on to port several popular first-person shooters, including Doom 2, Duke Nukem 3D, Quake to Macintosh, before voluntarily closing in 1999.
Oh,
that's sad.
That's sad. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, like, it's not bad.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, looking at
you just kind of roam around the procedurally generated areas, fight some enemies. You occasionally pick up stuff on the ground, and it takes way longer to pick stuff up than it should.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, slippery controls. You manage your inventory. You kind of learn what things do when you activate them. Like, there's no way to like check the stats of certain weapons to see if it's better to use this one over an older one. Like, you don't know what like the rations do until later. Like, it fills up your... I'm not sure what the FD meter means, but like, I think it might be food. Now that I'm thinking about it, might be food.
Is it like gauntlet logic? Don't destroy food.
I think so, because you get the like, you can pick up potions to heal you, but you also have the option to rest, right? And then resting, you know, your health goes up, but it does sacrifice that FD meter as well to do so. So
nice.
It could be that. But yeah, just again, like a game that just needs more stuff on the screen to kind of like, it's an RPG, man. It's okay if you explain to me what things are and what they're supposed to do and how they benefit me as far as stats go.
That was just like
kind of
the
stuff.
downside to Western RPGs at the time. So many of them just like had to be obtuse for like no reason.
Yeah, just because I think their ambitions were beyond the technology of the time. You know, because Elder Scrolls, like, I'm sure people have fondness for the early ones, but they're kind of rough. But when you get to like Oblivion and Skyrim, it's like, oh, okay, this is what they wanted to do all along. It kind of makes sense now.
Because like when I think Western RPGs, like the first one I can really think of that had like a story that was like kind of like engaging from the start is probably like Fallout. Yeah,
Fallout's another one. I'm sure there are people who really like the Wasteland games. There's the Bard's Tale. You know, there are other like, you know, Western RPGs that have done their thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and as we've mentioned, Ultima, which was, you know, making the rounds back in the 80s and the 90s, and now just I don't even know what Ultima is anymore, other than dead.
Yeah. It's owned by EA to forever be trapped in.
Oh yeah, it's dead. It's absolutely dead.
So looking at the reception for this game a bit, it's interesting because it's mostly positive, but there are a few up and down reviews. Like Computer and Video Games gave it a 59. Next Generation gave it a 2 out of 5. Video Games DE, I'm assuming Denmark, gave it a 52. Video Games and Computer Entertainment gave it a 6 out of 10. Other than that, though, it's mostly like 70s, 80s, like 3DO Magazine, 4 out of 5. So pretty generally pretty decent reviews for the most part.
Yeah, again, I think it's pretty neat, especially when you think about it in the context of 3DO. That like, oh, here's like, a proper RPG, right? Like one that has the frickin' Dungeons and Dragons name and moniker attached to it, which gives it some legitimacy, right? So it's definitely trying, and yeah, like the gameplay loop isn't bad. I kind of liked the loop because again, it's just like first person going around slashing people with a sword. I can get behind that. It'd be nice if I could see my sword and do
that bugged me a little bit.
Yeah, but again, that's just like that era, right?
Yeah.
Like I think Daggerfall the year later had that. And it's like, oh, there we go. Thank God I can actually see what I'm doing.
I think about it.
It's the issue I have with like the original Rainbow Six, where it's just a dot on the screen and you move in and bullets fly out of the center. Like there's no gun at all. It's like, guys, I need to see something.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the gameplay loop is fairly fine and decent enough. And I'm sure
it runs well.
It runs very well. I'm sure back in the day, I probably would have played this a lot. But it suffers from a lack of like a proper story or any sort of like actual progression in terms of like, like running into other characters or like say like running into a shop and there's like a character over here who's like selling stuff and then he tells you about what's going on or, running into that kind of stuff or having like a wizard in an orb in your pocket tell you what the fuck's going on or something like just something, it doesn't have to be, fucking Mass Effect, but you got to like tell me something, right? And because like otherwise after a while you're like, but what's the point? Because the game also, I mean, I didn't play through the whole thing, but
No.
I imagine it doesn't evolve that much beyond what you initially do anyways.
That's kind of what I found. I saw a complete playthrough on YouTube. Took apparently 3 hours. So take that for what you will.
Yeah.
I am curious when we eventually get to the sequel if that improves anything or if it's just more of the same.
Yeah, but on the whole, I don't think this game is bad.
No, and I was going to say
it's just a little dull.
Yeah, like as I was going to say, transitioning over to must play, okay, stay away. Like I'm definitely not going to say stay away. Like it's one of the better games on the system. In all honesty, I don't know if I want to say it's a must play, but it's definitely better than an okay.
It might become a must play down the road. Like when we're looking back at everything, we might rank this one higher because we've played a bunch of other stuff and was like, you know what, this is definitely one of the better games for the system. And I would say, as far as the RPG offerings go, I know it's not the best for sure. Like I mean, Guardian War, I would play over this, and there's a handful of like big RPGs we haven't touched yet that are very beloved for this system.
Comparison wise, Seal of the Pharaoh is probably the closest, and
I would say this is better than Seal of the Pharaoh.
Yeah,
but Seal of the Pharaoh is more interesting.
Yeah, because that's more trying to be an RPG, a more traditional RPG.
Yeah, and that like has a story and it's trying to like do some world building and everything. So I give it credit for that. But as far as the gameplay loop goes, I much prefer this.
This is more fun. Seal of the Pharaoh gets old very fast.
Yes, exactly. I mean, really, if you take the best stuff of this game and the best things of Seal of the Pharaoh, you just have Power Slave, which is one of the best fucking games ever.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a shame that didn't come out to 3DO. Otherwise, I would get to gush about how much I love that game. Stay tuned for the Sega Saturn experience.
As much as I love Power Slave and like that game, I don't think the 3DO could handle it.
No, oh no, the PlayStation barely could handle it.
Yeah, the Saturn version where it's at. Unfortunately, that game's fucking expensive.
Well, just get that Night Dive version. It's beautiful. When that came out, I had such a blast playing through that version because it is like that game finally got to shine in all the glory that it deserved. Because it's a little bit hindered by the hardware of the time, even though I think the Saturn version is still very good. But when you play a bit of that and then play the remaster, it's like, yeah, that's what this game is supposed to be. Like this fucking beautiful a masterpiece. Night
Dive just has that ability to make like a game that has potential good.
Yeah, with the Star Wars stuff, I just out of a whim, I bought Dark Forces, their remaster of it, and I played a little bit of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is just Doom with a Star Wars skin. I love it. It's great. It's a blast.
They made PO'd playable.
Oh yeah, and I want to get their that one LucasArts Western they did, Outlaws. I'm just waiting for like a good sale on that because that game looks awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love me some Night Dive. Heretic and Hexen, what they did with those games, those games are fucking beautiful. So, yeah, I could gush about those games all day, but we're not here for that. But weirdly enough, I feel like this game could almost fit into that camp. It's the same like mid-90s first-person action game that like you can tell they were starting to get a handle on it. Like in this post-Doom world, more companies were attempting first-person action-based games. And you were seeing some mixed results, but I think the deeper in we get, people are figuring out like, they're like, okay, this is like the Doom formula. This is what works. So let's try all kinds of different stuff with it. You know, and I feel like this game probably wouldn't exist if it weren't for Doom. The idea of doing something that's more action-based, because otherwise this would probably be like a grid, you know, turn thing like a Seal of the Pharaoh, and it would get old fast.
Yeah.
So this one gets old about medium. So
yeah, once you realize the game is very repetitive, which isn't really a dig on the game. That's kind of just how these games were back then.
Exactly. So yeah, it's not a stay away. It's better than an okay.
I'm gonna say
it might be a must play later, but I'm not gonna stick to that claim at this time.
I'm gonna bring back the old half and half rating that we haven't done in forever. I'm gonna call it a must play / okay, kind of in the middle.
An okay play.
Okay.
Not a must play, but it's an okay play. You know.
Okay.
But if you play a bit of this and then you really like it, go download Daggerfall because you can for free and just go play that. I feel like is a much better version of this. And Daggerfall is free. It's on Steam, it's on everything. But if you do get it, there is some mods you can do to make it a little bit more playable on modern systems. So be sure to do that, kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's about it for Slayer on Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm. From a lasser in the sky.
Hell yeah.
Now I want like Michael McDonald doing Slayer too. Rain and blood from a lesser in the sky. That sounds awesome.
Anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on the 3DO Experience. You can find 3DO Experience all the major podcasting platforms. Check us out on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site, a whole bunch of different videos, podcasts, blogs, all sorts of fun stuff over there. Playing Game Club game, Earthworm Jim 3D. Woo.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's probably the least offensive on that list that we had. So
I would have preferred Boogerman 3D, but I guess we're in the wrong timeline.
Yeah,
I'm like the only person who reps for Boogerman anymore.
Yeah, it's like me and my what's my obscure platformer from that era? Like Rocket Robot on Wheels. That's a good game.
Yeah, there you go. A little later, but I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So other than that, though, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
No. Right. Other than I have a few projects in the works. One of them will probably be out relatively soon. I mean, of course, it depends on when the whole thing gets done. So nice. I'll be more specific when they're out. But I have some other things in the works. I haven't started the next Thrat Cops yet, so maybe next week I'll get started on it.
Nice. But yeah, with that, anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?